Superb.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Super happy. I think after a long time, uh, I got to hold of one of my dearest friends. And yeah, before that, we got two eminent speakers today, and it's going to be super charged up session. Okay. Uh, uh, so so let's just I think yeah. So we are all just 9:31 right now. So yeah, let's get started, right? So okay. All right. So 20. So just to remind to your friends and team members, right? Invite them. Just send a reminder to join the session. Okay. So what is this session about? W3, right? Wellness, wisdom, and wealth. Okay. So these three topics, and this is something which we decided. Okay, we are going to give it to our society. Okay, which we owe a lot to our society, right? To help them with with a healthy mindset, wisdom and all. So that is where actually we started. So we are doing these sessions every Tuesdays, 9:30 p.m. Okay, it doesn't matter what, we are doing it. And we have hosted many speakers till now. And it's my privilege to host the session for today. And we got two awesome speakers for today. I mean, like one of them is going to speak much about mindset, and the other one is going to speak about health. Okay, so two important speakers today, and super excited. Okay, so without much to ado, right, let me introduce the first person. Okay, it's nothing other than Dr. Manu Melvin Joy. Okay, so to give you a brief introduction about him, right, he was my classmate. Basically, I would say he was my schoolmate. Okay, so he was studying with me till 10th, and a brilliant student. Okay, and I mean, there were many challenges to him which happened to him also, which actually I think that he will be covering in short a bit, but definitely I will just give you a high level about him. Okay. So Dr. Manu Melvin Joy, he's currently serving as an assistant professor at the School of Management Studies, CUSAT, and he's not just an academician, but a beacon of resilience and accomplishment. Okay. And with an impressive portfolio, Dr. Manu Melvin Choi, he has contributed significantly towards the academic realm with 51 research papers and published in reputed international journals and conference proceedings. And his dedication to knowledge dissemination extends beyond traditional academic channels. And this is something which I want to highlight over here. Remarkably, Dr. Manu Melvin Choi, he's not just a scholar, or he's a survivor. Okay, I don't know if anyone can relate to it. Okay, a lymphoma survivor who, amidst all of his life challenges, right, he triumphed with unwavering strength. And beyond his academic pursuits, Dr. Manu Melvin Choi holds a rare distinction of earning 6 master's degree and a PhD, and which is a testament to his thirst for knowledge and intellectual prowess. Okay, so without much further ado, let's warmly welcome Dr. Manu Melvin Choi to share his insights with us today. And his journey is not just one of academic achievement, but an inspiring narrative of resilience and drive. So please join me in extending a heartfelt welcome to Dr. Manu Melvin Choi. Dr. Manu, my dearest friend, over to you.
Thank you, Hashim, for that generous introduction. Hope I am audible.
You are, man.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, Manu,
Yes.
you are.
Yes.
Great, great. So I am really excited to be a part of this wonderful community who is very much what do you call focusing on the wealth, wisdom, and uh, wellness, right? Yeah. So as rightly said by Hashim, I also have been a part of this particular initiative because my wife was with this activity for a brief period of time. So I also really appreciate the efforts taken by your community towards the betterment of the society. So anyway, let me start the session. And before I start the session, I would say that I have designed the session in such a way that I want it to be interactive. So all the participants can share their thoughts, their ideas. And obviously, at the end of the session, the top scorers will be rewarded with a very special treasure. Okay. And take it from me. you will be never disappointed when you have the treasure at the end of the session. Okay. So let's kickstart today's session. I would like all of you to share your thoughts in the chat box. Okay, I can see the chat box there. So describe today's world in just one word. What is the one word that comes to your mind when you think about today's session, today's world? You can share the thoughts in your chat box.
Very competitive, fast
Competitive,
moving.
fine. Challenging. Hashim says it's challenging. Any other thoughts? Competitive. Ebin says competitive. Vinayak says fast changing. And we have the answer race. I agree with all that. But I would say that a term, an acronym that captures the essence of the challenges of today's world is something called VUCA. If you have heard about this term, if anybody has heard about this term, can you share the expansion of VUCA? What each of these words stands for? Obviously, when you saw that term in the poster, you might have checked it. So all those who have gone an extra mile to check what VUCA means can share that in the chat box. Yes, exactly. Rakesh, good job. Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So he grabs the first 100 points of the day. Good job, Rakesh. Fine. Therefore, VUCA is a term devised by US Army when they went to Iraq and Afghanistan for war. Think about a soldier in a war zone. He's in an entirely different environment. The next step he may be taking may be on a mine which will blast, and he can expect a gunshot from the back. So to survive in such an environment, he needed an entirely different mindset and a strategy. That is how they came up with the term and the strategy VUCA. Therefore, but nowadays, a term which was used in a military context is now used in day-to-day context or day-to-day business parlance. Can you guess what might be the reason? A term which was used in the military context is now very relevant and commonly used in day-to-day context. What might be the reason? Either in the chat box or you can unmute and share the answer. Military context, day-to-day context. What might be the reason? There is no right or wrong answer, so you can shoot. Yes, to ensure discipline, Frederick James says ensure discipline. Good. Anything else? It's pretty obvious. A term which was very relevant in the military context is now used in our day-to-day context. Because if you think about our everyday life, it's very similar to a war. We are fighting a war at home, in the workplace, in the society. So we need to have the same mindset of a soldier in a war zone for surviving. That is how VUCA is relevant in today's world. Even if you are a layman, VUCA will help you survive the test of the the world nowadays. Let's look at each of these terms in detail. Volatility means liable to change rapidly, especially for the worse. These are the time taken by each of these products to reach 50 million users. And can you give a rough estimate in how many years telephone got 50 million users? A calculated guess in the chat box. How many years approximately? 40? Okay. Any other guesses? It's 75 years. And now it's relative. In how many years radio got 50 million users? From the image, it's easy to deduce. Frederick Williams says 25. Okay, it's 38. Good job. What about television? In how many years television got 50 million users? Yes, Pashim, you are very close. It's 13 years. Internet. What about internet? 5. Ebin says 5. Hashim says 3. Soumya says 5. Renu says 5. Very close answers. Frederick James, you nailed it. It's 4 years. What about Facebook? One, 4, 5, 3. Yes, Ebin, you are very close. It is 3.5 years. And my question is, in how many days Angry Birds, the game, got 50 million users? In how many days? 100, 15? But it is in between 100 and 15. It is 35 days. So we have answers 50, 75, 50. Good job. It's just 35 days. The point that I want to drive in is something that took 75 years to happen is now happening in the span of 35 days or on a single day. And that is the kind of fast-changing world that we are living in. Let me give you a few examples to prove the point that in this fast-changing world, even if you are the first person to do something, that's not enough. You have to put it into practice. Okay? 100-point question. What Sony did to Kodak? Sony came with the technology that crashed the monopoly of Kodak. In the chat box. Yes, Sudanwa. Good job. 100 points for Sudanwa. Correct answer by Ragesh. It is digital camera. Kodak, they were into film cameras, and Sony with the digital camera took away the market of Kodak. And 250-point question. So Kodak never thought that an electronic firm like Sony will take away their market. Which company filed patent for the first digital camera in 1977? In the chat box. Nikon? No. Canon? Sony? Canon? Yes, Hashim. Correct answer. It is Kodak. See the irony? Kodak engineer Steve Sasson came up with the first patent for the digital camera. And when he was so excited, he took that innovation to the top management. Do you know what they said? They said that this innovation is going to be a threat for their film camera business. So let's keep it undercover. Let's keep silent about it. And they lost to Sony. So even if you are the first person to find something or invent something, if you don't put it into practice, it's of no use. The second question, which company filed patent for the first computer in 1973? In the chat box. IBM, Windows, IBM. Let me give you a clue. It's not HP, it's not Apple. The word is hidden inside this word jumble. Catch me if you can. Xerox, Ebin. 250 points for Ebin. It's Xerox. Xerox Alto is the first computer to get patent. But Xerox, as we know, they were making so much money from photocopiers that they ignored this innovation. They kept it in their research facility, and few years down the lane, when Steve Jobs visited the facility, saw this wonderful equipment, and rest is history. And one last question from this particular section, what Apple did to Sony? What was the hit product of Apple that trashed and the hit product of Sony? Mobile phone. Music, very close. iPod, correct, Hashim? It's iPod. So the hit product of Sony was Walkman, and Apple with the iPod took away their market. So Apple never thought that, Sony never thought that an IT firm like Apple will take away their market. Therefore, we are living in a highly volatile world, fast-changing world, where it's very tough to stay where you are. Forget about moving ahead, right? Next, it is uncertainty. The U of VUCA is uncertainty. That means not able to be relied on, not known or definite. 200-point question. Identify him. I know it's a tough one. He is Mr. Nassim Nicholas Taleb, and his job was, he was with Wall Street for 25 years. His job was to predict the ups and downs of the best companies in the world. He basically predictions. He did that job for 25 years. And at the end of his illustrious career, he made a statement, nothing can be predicted. A person who predicted the fate of the best companies in the world says that nothing can be predicted. And what was the most famous concept introduced by Nassim Nicholas Taleb, which is hidden inside this word jumble? You can focus on the bottommost row and you will get the clue. The first person who shares the answer in the chat box will get 200 points, 500 points, sorry. Blockchain, no. The last row, we have two B's. Black Swan, Soumya, 500 points for Soumya. Good job. It is Black Swan. Black Swan is the name of the book written by Mr. Nassim Nicholas Taleb. It's also a metaphor. Imagine we are doing research among swans, and all the swans we see are white. We saw 100,000, 10,000, 1 lakh. After seeing 10 lakh swans, which are all white, we assume that all the swans in the world are white. That is how we do predictions. We look at a company and look at how it performed the last 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, and we extrapolate it to the future. But imagine next day when you came out of your house, there you saw a black swan. All your assumptions about the sighting of the 10 lakh swans, white swans, it goes off the window. So black swan is a rare, high-impact, unpredictable event that will change our world upside down. Internet, it was a positive black swan. Mobile phone, 10 years ago, if you told someone that you can do all the bank transactions by a click, they would have laughed at us, but now it's a reality. And think about the greatest black swan of this decade. We never thought that our kids will have to attend the classes online and mass will become a part and parcel of our day-to-day time. So Nassim Nicholas Taleb says that we are living in such an unpredictable world where any black swan can come and change our world upside down, turn our world upside down. So we should have a black swan mindset to survive here. Next, it's about complexity. That means consisting of many different and connected parts. A simple question. This is a pencil, a normal, ordinary pencil. How many people are needed to make a pencil? In the chat box. How many people are needed to make a pencil? One, zero. Actually, we need the help of millions of people to make just one pencil. It is well explained in this short film, I, Pencil. Because if you consider the people who cut the trees, people who are involved in mining the graphite, so it goes into millions of people.
This is an ordinary, familiar wooden pencil. You might think a pencil is simple. Chances are you've been using one since before you could even read or write. But just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's simple. In fact, it's complicated, elaborate, beautiful, elegant. Its very existence is too improbable for any one person to truly comprehend. These are the basic materials that go into a pencil: graphite, cedar, metal, and rubber. But if you had all the elements of a pencil right in front of you, could you make a pencil? It's not as easy as you might think. In fact, no single person on the face of the earth could do it without the help of countless others. And this is the key to understanding the world. A pencil, just like you and me, is the end result of a vast and intricate family tree, a symphony of human activity that spans the globe. Through their work and knowledge, a vast number of people have had a hand in making this simple pencil. Unlike your family tree, this one begins with an actual tree. The most immediate ancestor of the pencil is a cedar tree in the Pacific Northwest. But the loggers who harvest the timber are also its ancestors. And these men don't work alone. They in turn are assisted by the people and industries that produce the saws, rope, and countless other tools that they use. These are also the ancestors of our pencil. As is the waitress at a nearby diner who sells the loggers lunch, to say nothing of the thousands of people involved in producing that simple midday meal. Across time and space, the web grows. Consider the roads, trucks, ships, communication systems, and the people who design, build, and maintain them. All of them are necessary to bring the lumber to the mills and the slat factories that process them. All of them are also the ancestors of the pencil. And even with the work of all these people, so far all we have is a stained wooden slat, a naked half of a wooden body of a pencil. But its family tree is larger and more extensive. The graphite is mined in China and Sri Lanka. At the pencil factory, it's mixed with clay and heat and other materials before it's extruded, dried, and baked in a kiln. People from different continents, different cultures, cooperate to bring these materials together with waxes and kilns and equipment from across the world. These too are the ancestors of the pencil. And the same is true of the eraser. With ingredients from around the world, it's the end result of a similarly complex and exotic branch of the family tree. As is the ferrule, the metal band made from material that is mined, refined, and shipped from all over the world. Each part of the pencil is the result of the collaboration and cooperation of millions of people. This is
So we are living in such a complicated world where if you want to make a small product like a pencil, we need we need the help of millions of people across the globe, because we are living in a highly complicated and interconnected world. And the last A of VUCA is ambiguity, which means not having one obvious meaning. If I ask you the question, how much data we create daily in the entire world, it's not GB, PB, TB. It is 2.5 quintillion bytes, which is equivalent to filling 10 million Blu-ray discs. And if you stack it, it will be the height of 4 Eiffel Towers. And 90% of the world's data today is created just in the last 2 years alone. Think about what happens in the social media in 1 minute. Millions of videos viewed, posts done, apps downloaded, hours watched. Too much of things are happening, which leads us to an information overload. And to add fuel to the crisis, many of the information we receive, it's fake. To the extent that we are carried away by this latest technology, which is hidden inside this word jumble. You can focus on the last row and you can decipher the answer. The last weeks, India Today, the main cover story was, yes, it is deep fake. Correct, Ebin and Nirmal, deep fake. Deepfake is a technology where you can make the video of anybody in this world and make them do whatever you want. So in this ambiguous world, we can't believe our own eyes. We are living in a VUCA world, a highly volatile, uncertain, ambiguous world. And what is the key for surviving in this VUCA world? So we have three different variants of learn. Learn, unlearn, and relearn. Because we have to learn, and we living in a VUCA world where things change every nanosecond, and we have to unlearn whatever is not needed, and we have to relearn what is the need of the hour. That is why Mr. Alvin Toffler said the illiterate of the 20th century are not the people who can't read or write, but who can learn, unlearn, and relearn. So we should be masters. Previously, we have to do this process in a lifetime. But now, this unlearning and relearning should happen daily. It should be a part and parcel of our day-to-day ritual. So be masters of learning, unlearning, and relearning. So I believe that this community is the epitome of this particular jargon, because you have decided to go the extra mile and learn, unlearn, and relearn, especially when it comes to your health, your well-being, and wealth. Okay, so I really appreciate that particular initiative. So I would like to unlock the treasure. I can see all the participants like Nirmal, Ebin, Frederick, Shubhasri, Prasad, Saumya, Mahnur, Anil. So a lot of interesting participants actively contributing. So I can't restrict the treasure to one person. So anyway, I will share it to all the entire team who have actively participated in the process. So these are the treasures, the e-copies of 5 of my favorite books: Black Swan, Drive, then Everybody Lies, Stumbling on Happiness, and Work Rules. I will share the PDF with Hashim. So thank you. So once again, I would like to extend my gratitude for inviting me for this particular brief session. And I wish all the very best to this community for making a big difference in the lives of people and to the well-being of the nation. So thanks a lot. And a big thanks to Hashim for spearheading this particular initiative and inviting me for being a part of this session. Thank you.
Wow. Yes, awesome. I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Yes. I'm lost in words, Manu. I think I tried many times to grab you. I know how busy you are. Okay, so but definitely I got you. And I'm sure that each and everyone in this session, right, who attended this session, right, they have benefited. I think the key thing, right, the way you summarize, right, learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's something like a mind-blowing tips. And I was just waiting for that treasure which you're going to share, basically, right? So you didn't tell my name because I also answered a few questions. I'm sorry. All right. So yeah.
I will be sharing the treasure to you. So it is
Yeah. So definitely,
implicit.
I will keep it for myself. Just kidding. All right. So yeah. So thank you. Yeah. So any questions, right? So yeah. So definitely, right. Any questions you can shoot to Manu. Anything? Not just on the topic, on anything, because I hope you notice something, right? The way he presented, he was applying some technique. I don't know if any of you heard about the technique called gamification, right? He made the session interactive. How he made it interactive? Because there's some rewards associated with it, right? So gamification, and he is a master expert in it. Definitely, right? We will like to hear more about that gamification, and definitely, yeah, we will have a separate session for that. But yeah, before winding up, any questions to Manu? If you can, use it in the chat box or? Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Thanks a lot, Manu, for
Okay.
joining us. Definitely, yes. We will be in touch, and we're looking forward more sessions from you. Definitely.
Sure,
Thanks.
sure. Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah. So let's give a huge round of applause to Manu, Doctor, and thanks again from
Yeah,
all of us.
I read all the appreciation, all the nice words. So thanks a lot once again. So good night. I know you have one more very interesting sessions in the pipeline. So, bye.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So let's move on to the next topic. Okay. So who is the next speaker?
Subhashri.
Yes. Shubhasri. And what is the profession? She's a dentist. Okay, so again, right. So before let me introduce herself, right? So it's a pleasure to have Dr. Shubhasri, a dynamic individual with diverse range of talents of and relevant commitment to holistic well-being. She is a graduate in dental surgery and BDS, hailing from a vibrant city of Coimbatore. And she's not just a dental consultant, but a multi-faced personality. And beyond her expertise in dentistry, she is deeply immersed in the world of art and painting, showcasing a unique blend of scientific precision and creative flair. Okay, so what sets Dr. Shubhasri apart is her versatility as a freelance medical writer. Her ability to articulate complex medical concepts and clarity in finance is truly commendable. So we have today, it's our privilege to have Dr. Shubhasri to share her insights and experiences. So let us all join us in, welcoming the inspiring individual whose journey from dentistry to realms of art, writing, and wellness is sure to enlighten and captive for us all. Okay, so over to you, Dr. Shubhasri. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Over to you.
We can't hear you, Subhashri. Some problem with your.
So just give her a minute. So let her connect back. Shy. She's connecting to her audio.
Now am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Subhashri, just. Yeah, now we can
Now
continue.
it is fine. Okay. So yeah, thank you for the brief introduction about myself. I hope you are all having a great evening. I'm a dentist. I'm working as a freelance medical writer and also I'm a dental consultant in Coimbatore. So initially I was working only as a dentist, then I made the switch from clinical to non-clinical. So now I'm doing both. I write medical content for research papers, and also I practice in my city. So today I'm going to talk about dental cavity and its prevention. So, like, I guess everyone are aware about this topic, like how dental cavity and why it is happening and how to prevent it and what are the steps to prevent. I'm just going to explain more about it. So, I just wanted to know here, like, how many of you do night brushing? I know everyone will do the morning brushing, but how many people are doing the night brushing? Let me know the chat box. So, okay. So night brushing is equally important. Let's see why it is equally important. I'll just present my screen. Okay, let me give a brief introduction about the tooth parts. So the hard structure that is covering the tooth is called as enamel. So enamel is the outer layer of the tooth and it is white in color. The next layer to enamel is called as dentin. And the layer which is inside to dentin is called as the pulp. That is where we have blood supply. So initially, when you don't brush properly or when you don't do the night brushing properly, the bacteria that you eat, the food that you eat stays on your teeth and it will produce acids. I mean, the bacteria will eat those sugary foods and it will produce the acids. These acids will actually erode, it will erode the outer layer of the teeth, and the dental cavity will actually start as a small hole. Then, when you don't treat it or when you don't show it to a dentist, the dental cavity will actually start progressing. It will then first it will attack the enamel, the outer covering of the hard structure. Then it will go to the dentin. The dentin is the next second covering of the enamel. When the cavity actually reaches the dentin, the patient will feel so sensitive. He cannot, like when he eats or when he speaks or even when he opens the mouth, he will feel very sensitive. So that is the starting stage of symptom that you will realize that you have a cavity. Unless, even if you have a cavity, if it is only in the enamel layer, that is the first layer of the tooth, you will never realize that you have a cavity. But when it reaches the next layer, which is called as a dental, that is where you realize that you have a cavity. So in that time, it is better that you go to a dentist and treat it as soon as possible, because when that cavity, if when it reaches the pulp, that is when it reaches the blood supply area of the teeth, it will cause you a really very very high pain that you cannot bear at all. So when it reaches the sensitive area, like the second layer itself, it's better that you go to dentist and show. Why? Because when you leave it, it will definitely go to the blood supply area of the teeth, and it will either lead to root canal treatment or you have to take the teeth, because the pain is, you cannot tolerate at all. So the dental cavity is that, and what are the factors that is causing dental cavity is mainly if you don't brush or clean your teeth properly, mainly in the night time and after having your food. It will um, it will not only cause pain, it will also cause deposition of a layer of food in the between the gums and the teeth. So if you don't clean properly, that is the main cause. And when the sugary foods and the carbohydrates, when they just deposit on the tooth, the bacteria will start eating them and it will produce an acid. That is the main causative factor for a cavity. So the measures that are taken to prevent this thing is, first you need to go to a routine dental checkup, like once in 6 months or twice in a year or thrice in a year. Then you can show it to a dentist and you can see whether the cavities are there or not. If it is not there, it is fine. But when you find a cavity, if it is very small, also try to fill it. There is something called as Pitt and Fisher sealants. It is a composite cement. Even if some people, when they see that when there is a very small cavity, they ignore it. But if you start ignoring, it will definitely progress to the second layer, and when it goes to the third layer, it will be really really painful. So when you see there is a small hole, it's better you.
Shubhasri, do you want me to share the screen?
Yeah, please.
1 second.
Yeah.
Is it visible, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Oh, can you take to the first slide? So this is the black spot that is seen on the tooth is the outer layer. So when it comes to the root side, that is where you can see the blood supply to the tooth. That is where, when it reaches the black thing, when it reaches till the root and the space and the portion above the root, then it will start paining. Next slide. So mainly the factors that is causing the dental caries is what I told is bacteria. When you don't clean the teeth properly, it will definitely it's going to produce acids and it will start eroding your teeth. That is how the hole will progress. See, initially the hole will look like this, but in this stage you will definitely not get pain. But when it progresses inside, that is where you get pain. The symptoms of dental cavity will be tooth sensitivity, and tooth sensitivity is like not only when you eat, even when you open the mouth, even when the air goes inside the teeth, the tooths will be very sensitive. Even when you talk, you feel the sensitivity. And the initially the toothache will be only during the night time, but when it is on the when it progresses deep, very deep inside, it will start paining in the morning, even in the afternoon, and it will be very intermittent. And once it is gone very deep, it will start continuously paining like 24/7. And you cannot see for yourself. When you open your mouth and see, only you can, in a mirror only you can see. Otherwise a dentist or another person, when they have a mouth mirror, they can see. So if you cannot see, you can actually see your cavity by opening your mouth through a camera, because the instruments will not be available in your home. So you can see a mirror and look for any holes. If you suspect any hole, then you can go to a dentist and show them. And if there is any pus, because usually if the infection goes below the root, it will damage the gums. So in the gums you can see the pus. If there is any pus or pain or any bulge in the gums, you can go to a dentist and show. Because if the pus is there, definitely the caries has gone to the roots and the infection has progressed. And next is, if you have any pain while chewing, even if you like laugh, or when air goes inside, if you have a pain also, then there's a chance that there might be a hole or cavity. And bad breath is a very good sign of dental cavity. And if you have any swelling apart from pus, if you have any swelling in any part of your mouth also, there are high chances that there can be a cavity. Next slide. So why night brushing is very important is, if you don't, the bacteria inside the mouth is very active during the night. So what happens is, when you don't brush or don't gargle during night, the foods that stay on your tooth will stay, and the food debris, the food that you eat during the night time will stay on the upper surface of the tooth. And the bacteria is more active in the night and will start producing more acid in the night. That is why when you wake up in the morning, you have a bad breath. Only after brushing your teeth, you can actually talk to anyone. So it is very good that when you brush the teeth in the night, so the activity of the bacteria can be minimized in the night, and so that you will also have a fresh breath, and you can also avoid future deposition of plaque or any debris or any food particles in the mouth. Next. So where you can find these cavities is, you can find on the upper surface of the tooth, or in between the tooth, or if you already have a crown, like if you have already done a root canal and there is a crown, you can also have the cavity under the crown. So anywhere where the food can go and lodge, you can get a cavity there. Next. And the thing is, even kids too, even small kids also can get this cavity. Like what happens is, we have to feed the kid, right? So when you give the feeding bottle and you keep the feeding bottle inside the kid's mouth for a long time, it will stay for a long time. And when you don't clean it, we have to clean the kids. Even if the kid has 2 or 3 teeth also, we have to clean it. When you don't clean it, the sugary foods will actually stay on the tooth, and that will also cause caries. Caries is nothing but the cavity. Next. So how to prevent this is, of course, morning and night brushing, double brushing a day is definitely necessary, and gargling your mouth every time after a meal. You can use a dental floss. The dental floss is the second picture I have put. The floss is a white thread that you can get anywhere in medical shop. You can actually swipe that. You can take that food that is collected in between your teeth. You can avoid take sugary drinks, and you can use fluoridated toothpaste. Fluoridated toothpaste, what it does is, it actually it makes the tooth resistance to the acid that is produced by bacteria. So the acid that is produced will actually not harm your teeth. It will actually protect the tooth, I mean the outer layer enamel, from the acid produced from bacteria. That is how you can prevent dental cavity. And the fourth picture I have mentioned is a Pitt and Fisher sealant. Pitt and Fisher sealant is nothing but a cement. It is a cement. When you, even if you don't have a cavity, if you don't have a hole, you can go to a dentist and ask for a Pitt and Fisher sealant. Sealant, it will seal the grooves. There are so many grooves in the teeth. That is the starting point of a hole. So what you can do is, you can, even if you don't have a cavity, you can go to a dentist and ask for a sealant, so that the grooves, he will seal the grooves. So in future, you will definitely not get a cavity. The bacteria will not stay, the sugary substances or the food will not accumulate there. So that is how you can prevent. And alcohol and smoking. Alcohol and smoking are also a very good contributor for cavities, because alcohol contains acid that will actually create an environment for bacteria to grow, and it will also erode the outer layer of the tooth. So if you can quit smoking and avoid alcohol, that would be much better. So next. When you go to a dentist thrice or twice in a year, he will actually yearly detect your cavities. That is how you can prevent. And definitely you should go for a professional cleaning, because apart from cavity, there is also a buildup of white color layer between your teeth and the gums. That is called as the plaque. That is nothing but the food that is getting collected in your teeth. For some people, if they gargle, it will go. But for many people, it will actually stay, but it will not cause any pain. Over a period of time, it will get mineralized, and it will form a very hard layer that only by professional cleaning you can remove. And he will definitely assess your oral health, and he will give you fluoride paste. Like most of the toothpaste contain fluoride, but the percentage differs. So when it is a very good amount of fluoride, if it is present in the tooth, then you'll definitely not get cavities. And he will give you customized preventive plan. So this is the importance of going to a dentist twice or thrice in a year. That is how you can prevent cavities, and you can escape from root canal treatment and so on. That's it. Thank you. So
Thank
any
you.
questions?
Yeah, sure. So any questions, right? You can use the chat window. Okay, you can ask directly or unmute yourself and ask.
Hi, thanks for the session. If you use apple cider vinegar as mouth pulling, will it affect any corrosion on that too?
Actually, we don't recommend apple cider vinegar. For oil pulling, we suggest oil only. This apple cider vinegar, we don't recommend to patients.
So Prasad, apple cider vinegar over a long period of time can cause enamel damage to enamel if you use it for consistently over a very long period of time. But obviously, it is not. I mean, oil pulling is something good for the dental health.
Yeah, yeah, something ulcer kind comes. Sometimes honey, and they can suggest. Few people suggested that we can use apple cider vinegar also for mouth pulling. That is the reason.
For ulcers, you can use lidocaine gel.
Yeah.
Likewise, lidocaine gel is best for that. Is what we prescribe. But apple cider vinegar, I have never suggested to patients.
No, Prasad, apple cider vinegar cannot be used for ulcers. It is a
Definitely,
vinegar.
we don't suggest. We
Cannot
don't
be
give
used.
that.
Cannot be used. It will be very painful on ulcer if you put
Yeah.
vinegar.
Yes. Exactly.
The gel that Shubhashree mentioned is very good, extremely good for the ulcer.
I would recommend not to use vinegar for ulcers. Definitely not use.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions?
Shubhashree, one question, right? What is the recommended age for kids to start seeing a dentist?
They can see the dentist even from 4, 5 months, 3 months. Like if the even if the born child, if it is having any problem, then there is a specialty called pediatric dentistry. That is, I have done BDS, Bachelor of Dental Surgery. There is something called as Master of Dental Surgery. That is especially for pediatric. MDS in pediatric and preventive dentistry. They actually handle patients like even born babies, just born babies.
So I think Hashim's question was, if someone doesn't have any dental issues, what is a good age just to do the first checkup? Sometimes we adults, once in a while, we go and check our teeth, even though we don't have any health issues.
Yeah, then the age is like 1 year, 2 year, even from 1 year, kids come to clinic for general checkup, just for assessing their oral health.
Any other questions?
Milk will cause
right.
any.
So go ahead, Prasad.
Yeah.
Milk.
For kids,
So milk, when you have it in the night time and when you don't clean your teeth, definitely it will cause cavity. Because milk, if it stays on your teeth, definitely bacteria will come for it, and it contains sugar, lactose, so it will definitely cause cavity. Anytime you can drink milk, but if you don't clean your teeth, if you don't gargle properly, it is definitely going to cause cavity. Hello.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, sir.
Any other questions, queries? Right. Thank you, Dr. Shubhasree. It was a great, insightful session. I think, right, some of those learnings are even totally new for me also. Okay, so thank you. Thanks a lot for joining us in this community, and looking forward to have you host you many more times. And
Thank you.
okay, so any one more question? No. Okay, fine. All right. So thank you. Thanks, everyone. We had two great speakers, and thanks from a lot to both of them, Dr. Manu and Dr. Shubhasree, for joining us and sharing their wonderful insights. Okay, so as everyone knows, okay, we are having these sessions every Tuesday, 9:30. And please join us in our Telegram channel. And definitely, right, if you find, do share your feedback as well. And if you feel like it's really good, and definitely, yeah, please share to your friends and family members. And there are many people across us now looking for some sort of guidance, and definitely this is going to be a beneficial for everyone. Okay, so if you have any suggestions for the next coming weeks, right, definitely please reach out to us, and please do join us in our Telegram channel as well. Okay, so and thanks everyone. Have a wonderful week ahead, and have a good night. Thank you.
Thank
See
you,
you
Asim.
again next week.